I have a vision and I would see it become a reality. For true innovation to begin, it starts with empathy and inclusion, not just for disabled, but also for all of us. It unlocks the potential within human. How many of us here know of a person with disability? Almost all of us in this room. Have you ever wondered how challenging the life of a person living with a disability is? More than a decade ago, I was working with a person, let's for this talk, call him Ed. Ed was incredibly smart. He had a rare genetic condition that has made him be on a wheelchair right from the birth. So, we started as colleagues. He became my manager and thereby went on becoming the head of the department. Due to his intelligence, dedication, and hard work, he earned the respect and incredible positive attitude. One day, we all went for lunch as a team activity. We all ordered the food. We were waiting. As the food was served, we happily chatted and started eating. And then the moment that I will never forget, that moment hit me deep in my heart. I saw Ed taking his fork and struggling to take from his plate and eat in front of us. I felt a range of emotions hit me. Such a simple task. Ed ate modestly. He was calm and composed. I felt so much of emotions that I holded my tears back. I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of my colleagues. That day, I went back. I couldn't stop thinking. And later in my one-on-one meeting with Ed, I asked Ed that how is it that with such a disability, severe disability that he has, and he maintains a positive attitude and he is incredibly successful, growth and everything. And it was admiration for me, and I told him I was truly inspired by Ed. And what Ed told me was truly shocking. What his response was, I was expecting a response of something like, yeah, I don't think people understand, a frustration or a complaint, but that's not what I heard. What I heard was, Harish, you have no idea how much I am inspired by you. I can imagine living rest of my life on a wheelchair, but I cannot imagine being partially blind, low vision like you, and how you process the information on the computer by zooming in and understanding all this information. It's truly inspiring. That's what he said. And yet I admired him for his resilience, for his positive attitude, and I was so much running with emotions that day. And that night, while I was driving back home, I made sure that I wanted to help people like Ed. With a strong desire in my heart, with a strong feeling that I would love to help people with disabilities, I started picking up a book and a pen and started designing something. And I just had a thought cross in my mind. I wanted universe to help me to do something. And within few minutes, I started designing of a concept called Smart Adaptive Wheelchair. This was back in 2019, before AI and ChatGPT was there. And the Smart Adaptive Wheelchair came back with features. In my previous meeting with Ed, where I asked him what his daily challenges were with the wheelchair, he told me the challenges. And I co-innovated this with Ed. And it came back with so much adaptive features that a person who doesn't have hands and legs, both hands and legs, can have robotic arms, and it can do amazing amount of work. It can autonomously navigate in complex pathways and crowded pathways. It could automatically make a person's life much more comfortable. It's not about that. What I felt was how innovation and how innovators work, and the secret, and there are 3 steps for innovating something that is worthwhile. And once I found out these 3 secret steps, I wanted to share it with the world. And the first one is a heart filled with selfless desire to help and solve a real world problem. And that heart needs to be burning with the selfless desire to truly make a difference. And the second is an open mindset that is guided and firmly rooted in authenticity and integrity. And when we are authentic and are with high level of integrity, then the third step begins, which is heart starts to activate all the 40,000 neurons. There are 40,000 neurons that are very powerful that can take any person in a flow state. And the flow state is the highest state where innovations truly happen, where directly wave of ideas will come through and the heart leads and the brain follows and starts taking the command from the heart and moving the ideas from nothing to something that is truly valuable. So, disabilities can happen through genetic or it can be acquired later in the life. However, people in military, we see that in all of the countries, they get disabled very easily due to wars and battles. So, my vision for the world is, can we enable the whole of the world being accessible for people with disabilities? Currently, there are 1.3 billion people, that is 1 in 6 people or 60% of the world's population that have some level of disability. However, developed countries have done some good public infrastructure like in schools, colleges, hospitals, and public places where there is ramps and other accessible technology, accessible infrastructure. However, there are a lot of underdeveloped and developing countries, there is no infrastructure and there is no digital accessibility as well. So, as a collective, as humanity is seeing AI and robots take the mundane and routine jobs, we can economically create good opportunities. Right now, it's a $10 trillion industry, can become $100 trillion industry and create more than 1 billion jobs all over the world that are meaningful, that help somebody and truly create joy, peace, and harmony and happiness when all the 200 plus countries work together to tackle accessibility. So, there are 3 goals that we can all collaboratively work together. First is taking the current infrastructure that is there and building on top of it and making the infrastructure better. Also, the next one is when we start to work on digital accessibility, especially in the digital transformation area. Whenever somebody says digital transformation, cross it out in your mind and say digital accessibility based transformation, because let's make sure it's accessibility first thinking. Because once we start to make any products or services assistive technology, nothing but the products or services that are designed to make people with disabilities lives much better. And when anything that's get innovated, when it has accessibility first, it will help everybody. A good example is SMS, texting. People with hard of hearing and speech disabilities were the first early adopters. Now 5.2 billion people all over the world use text messaging. So we can see that everybody gets help when we adopt the mindset of accessibility first thinking. The second Did you know that only 3% of internet is accessible? So whatever is published in the internet, 97% of people with disabilities cannot understand the content, cannot comprehend the content, cannot even access the content. So we can work on digital accessibility, making sure all of the content that is on internet is accessible for people with disabilities, because technology is bypassing in such a pace with people with disabilities that we are at the nexus of the moment that we can have humanities has a chance to start with accessibility based digital transformation. And last but not the least, any digital product, any iPhone, iPad, or tablet apps, web apps, mobile apps, watch apps, or even Teslas, any digital interface should be made accessible for all of the disabilities. It is possible. There are laws and there are also standards and guidelines that are available that anything that is digitally designed could be made accessible. It's time that we welcome these 1.3 billion people that are here for a long time waiting for humanity to accept and welcome them as the brothers and sisters. They are our brothers and sisters. Let's welcome to this world and make the world accessible digitally. Thank you.